This is the heaviest podcast. Let's fucking go!
Yo, what the actual fuck is up? It's the Heavyist podcast. Weekly worship of the Ultra motherfucking radness. We can do that now.
I waved at the camera. You
can
threw
add
you
a
off.
wave.
We're on video, son. I'm not just waving
really
at you.
Weird. I know. I need to get used to that. I bet I've been like picking my nose and stuff.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. If you caught me picking my nose or anything like that over the time of watching the videos, I apologise.
I'm very, very
it's
sorry.
unlikely to end.
It's just something we're going to have to live with. Mate.
Yeah.
It's episode 222, which is a lovely number.
What a great number.
I don't think I said weekly
number.
worship of the Ultra motherfucking radness either. I was just completely thrown by your hand wave.
All I had to do was wave.
All you had to do with
everything
wave
that was happening.
Completely derailed. What day is it?
I've got a question.
Is it Mother's Day still?
Am I allowed to drink beer on YouTube?
Of course you are. You're allowed to fucking do hard drugs on YouTube. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? When we were in audio format, I could have been like smoking crack the whole time and no one would have even known.
And you probably were, knowing you.
Not while I got a mouthful of foam. We're not sponsored, but just a little can of Tiny Rebel. Lovely.
Big ups. I've got some beers downstairs. I should have got them.
Oh, you should have got. I've just got the one errant beer that was in the fridge. I thought, I'm going to drink that.
Fuck yeah, brother. Mate, how's it been going? What's been going on in Clan? Oh, in the world of Gary.
You're awfully jumpy this evening. What's wrong with you? You all right?
I don't know.
I
can't operate
the mic that time. Christ,
I can't operate.
Are you being abused? Is that what's happening? Are you being beaten? Oh dear. What's been going on in Glanfield? Oh, you know what? Absolutely fucking nothing, mate. Life is quiet, and I spent the whole weekend eating. I did a lot of eating.
That's one of the best things to do.
Dude, I had Friday night, I had takeaway from the Thai restaurant, followed by Josie's for breakfast. I lived the fucking dream. Lived like a absolute king. I felt like Henry the fucking VIII, mate. It was wicked.
Yeah, you got full gout for Easter.
Yeah, basically. I now have to have one of my feet amputated as a result. It was totally worth every minute.
All the moshing that you'll never be able to do again because of
I've
gluttony.
Never moshed. I hover around the outskirts, and that is as close as I've ever got in my entire life.
If I did have an obvious physical disability, it would probably justify my lack of participation in crowds a little bit more. I think there's probably people with like less limbs than I that mosh much more.
You're tempted to just like take crutches to a show just so that people don't think, oh, this guy's fucking get out of pit. Why isn't this guy enjoying himself? Well, I am. Do it my own. I do it in my own way, the way of an old man.
Yes. I do it in the way of the ancients.
No, man, the ancients loved the mosh. Cavemen fucking loved the mosh. I bet they were well all about moshing, hitting each other over the head with clubs and shit.
Definitely. They might have been the original beatdown bands.
Actually, might have been. I mean, there's a reason they call it caveman death metal, right? It was invented by the cavemen. They wrote the riffs on the walls in blood.
On tablets.
What the fuck am I on about? I'm sorry.
It's just a nice riff, Gary. That's just that's what you get up to when you're podcasting.
Oh yeah, this is our playful banter. Oh, yeah.
We've got some really cool records this week.
Oh my god!
There's an endless torrent of just beautiful, beautiful bouquets from the Heavyist, just being handed like fists full of beautiful smelling roses through the void constantly.
Yeah.
We are. It's been stupendous. And like we made like a rule like about a year or so ago. We were like, can't just keep doing 4 records every week. It gets silly. Like it gets really silly. You can't just do that because like it takes too much time. So we tried to do like two bands an episode for like ages, and we've sort of thrown that out the window now because it's so fucking good. There's just too much good stuff to talk about. We could probably talk about 17 records a week if we had.
It's
time.
getting to that point.
Yeah.
Just burp. Sorry about that. The podcast would literally just turn into us writing a list of bands and that just naming them. That's all we'd have time for. It'd be insane. It's tempting.
We could try it. We could try a mega episode. See if we can break the record.
Oh, the record's 8 though, isn't it? We're never going to beat 8.
Yeah,
our PB, I think, is 8
that the
records
PB?
in a week. Yeah, is that the famous night that we drank all of them like craft beers and got totaled and did eight records in one episode over the course of about 4 hours at my in-laws' house? Yeah, that's the PB. I don't know if we could ever beat the PB of 8 records. That'd be mental.
We're gonna have to do it, Gary.
Challenge
We're gonna
accepted.
have to do it. We're gonna have to line up a week.
We just have to we'll both take 2 weeks off work to prepare for it. It'd be mental. Oh dear. Yeah, there's an absolute plethora of records. Last Sunday was Mother's Day. Today it's Mosher's Day, mate. It's our time.
It's absolute Mosher's Day. This is
Moshering Sunday. Where should we start, man? I would like to vote that we start Weston Super Maim. Is that cool? You down with that?
Yeah, I back that. I passed that.
That's it.
That was my gavel.
Your decision has been made. We should get a gavel. That'd be a good little visual thing for the videos.
Yeah,
it's just you whacking, you hitting a gavel. We need some more visual stuff. What's that?
Might just throw this. It's like a little Freddy.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
It's like a little stress ball that's a Freddy, but there's not.
That's pretty cool. All I can offer you
is
this, which is where I've been using to improve my grip strength. Look, I've been working out. Doing some reps.
You better watch yourself with that, Gary. You will tug it clean off.
That's the plan. Is I'm going to snap it in half. That's going to get such a strong grip. No, mate. Let's fucking talk about some music. Weston Super Maim. They are a transatlantic mathcore, deathcore, metalcore duo from the US and the UK. Their new album is called See You Tomorrow, Baby, and it's released on Friday the 12th of March, and I believe it's being released independently. So this is a conversation that me and you have had, and I'm just going to address it right up front. I have previously let this band kind of pass me by because the name is just not very good, and I have really fully just judged everything on the fact that I think their band name's kind of not very good. And in hindsight,
you have to operate under some sort of principle like that. Otherwise, you'll just be listening to bands all day. If you don't employ some sort of filtration device, I'll just be staring at Bandcamp till my eyes just explode.
That's exactly it.
I don't know what would happen.
There's only so many hours in the day.
Some sort of
so you've got to create some sort of internal rule set that you employ. And unfortunately, I just never checked this band out. But I feel really stupid because, there's a lot of, the band name is a red flag, but there's a lot of fucking green flags. Like you go on their Bandcamp page, their Bandcamp bio says, "What if Meshuggah couldn't count?" I mean, yeah, I'm in. Their last EP came out through Dark Trail. Why did I miss that? What the fuck's going on there? And then you get the album into your
Gary's
inbox.
a bell end.
Sorry, dude, that's my bad. Yeah, you get the album come into your inbox, and it's flagged up as for fans of Meshuggah, Humanity's Last Breath, and Car Bomb. And then it features guest spots from Blindfolded and Led to the Woods and Frontiera. I mean, I feel fucking really, really stupid for not having a go on this band earlier than I did.
Mate, there's so many fucking green flags about this record. It might as well be St. fucking Paddy's Day. That's just a bit of banter for you there, Gary.
I enjoyed that immensely.
It's actually just coming up, St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, it's not far off, is it? It's a big deal in your household. I don't know. St. Patrick is
I'll tell you what it is, though.
Like Main Island. Main Island? It's not what it's called.
Her dad forgot to send her a card for her birthday. from Ireland. And he's making up with her by going, I'll make sure I send it with your St. Paddy's Day card. He's never sent a St. Paddy's Day card in the life before. So he's just, we're going to get our first St. Paddy's card this year.
Well, that's pretty exciting. St. Patrick's Day. I saw loads of those in the shop the other day. I was like, who's sending those to people? Apparently,
I might start.
Jolene's dad.
I might start appropriating Jolene's culture if she's not going to. I might just start sending one to everyone. I might get this one, and it might be the best card I've ever seen, and then I might just sort of be overcome with love for it.
This time next year, you're going to be doing the full-blown river dance, mate.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what. Let's make it a thing. Let's do like river dance to metalcore music and make it like a meme. You could corner the internet with that, mate. TikTok famous in about 10 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah. Me and X Tyrone will be like that.
Yeah, right on there on the X Tyrone page, and you should use a Weston Super Maim song as your backing, trying to get us back on topic.
We needed to get there.
Yeah,
so,
this album, man.
This record, dude.
Oh boy, is fucking sick, isn't it? It's fucking so good.
It's so good, dude. There's just so much stuff that we love here. I love. It literally sounds like it cost 10 million pounds. It sounds like it was recorded with experimental technology from a distant planet. It sounds like Elon Musk has knocked it up with Jeff Bezos in a space station. It's that fucking good.
Edge production. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I don't understand how privately released music can sound this good. Like they must be backed by like one of those companies that basically owns America, like BlackRock or Vanguard or whatever it is. Like, they must be, because it's just so fucking.
What you don't know is that they're all part of they're both part of the Rockefeller family. You didn't even realise.
Yeah.
That's the
it's Thomas Rockefeller. I did see that actually. Yeah, he's one of the members.
Of course. But yeah, like I mean, I spent many a year trying to defend. You're right.
I don't know if I make an Epstein joke, but that's probably not a good thing to associate him with.
Not to be associated with. But yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if this album was on the flight logs. It's that good.
You can't say that.
It's that money.
God.
This album is so money.
It's
probably
money.
on the Epstein flight logs.
That's got to go on the Oh my God. I actually can't breathe. I was going to say something, I can't.
Do you know why Epstein's in my mind? Because the beginning of this record literally I was going to say this sounds like Stephen Hawking's right at the beginning. It does sound, and I was thinking earlier, it just sounds a bit Stevie, but you can't really mention him anymore. He's not really good. He's not really the good lad we knew him as, is he?
No, not so much. Nicholas just texted me saying, "Do you need some clean pants? It sounds like you've just wet yours." Fucking hell!
Sorry,
right?
This album sounds.
Make me laugh this much.
This album sounds so good. This album
is so fucking good. I mean, like I was going to say, I spent so many years trying to defend Gent as like a sound and a scene. And, everyone's it's kind of gone off the boil. Everyone kind of sees it as a bit of a pastiche and a bit nerdy and a bit tragic at this point. But then you hear something that sounds like this and you're like, how can you not love this kind of music? How can you not love this kind of technical, Meshuggah worshipping, fucking riffy, bouncy? It's like, how can you not enjoy this kind of sound? It just hits a part of your brain that is just, you can't not love. And I mean, there is a lot of Meshuggah love. I mean, even to the point where like the vocals have in quite a few places even have that like Jens Kidman intonation style that he does.
Yeah.
Which is, there's a lot of people.
It's
fine for me. I've got no problem with it. Like, there's a lot of people who would go, "Oh, it sounds like Meshuggah," but the thing is, like, it's starting with Meshuggah, and then just adding, like, if Meshuggah is a millionaire shortbread, then this band are a billionaire shortbread. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's taking something amazing and adding more amazing stuff on the top of it.
and it has a lot of amazing stuff that is its own.
does.
It has this really cool sort of warm, effervescent, synth-driven moments that like sort of lift it up into this beautiful. You feel like you're sort of like merging into the fucking like the Pink album cover like at moments. That's really cool. It's a real sort of theme throughout the record. They have these like little moments like that which are like give it its own sort of brilliant character. And there's the sort of like the humanity's last breath like devastation in there, and there's all these sort of like chaotic turns and twists that it makes, and it's got so many different elements. It's not just Meshuggah worship. It's just got such a brilliant character of all these interesting things. And there's something about the fucking amazing production plus how just belligerent and groovy it is that just makes you so happy. Like how happy I am when I like listen to like the Viscera record, like something that's so clean and so lovely, but it's also so massive and so technical and so hefty. Like it's got that, but it's also got like a chaotic element. It's more than like a fucking like bull in a china shop. It's like a fucking mammoth in a greenhouse.
Yeah, man. I think the thing is that really sets it apart is like how engaging it is. Like their song structures are always really interesting. They like to keep like they have really good variants, and like what you were saying with the kind of the stuff that's almost semi-ambient, like they'll kind of drift into these parts, and it just completely switches the vibe, but it doesn't lose its personality and its distinctiveness at the same time. Like they can kind of attack all of these different things and these different ideas, but they never lose their signature that runs through the whole thing. And like it's just really fucking expertly delivered, and like you say, it's recorded considering that they're in two opposite sides of the fucking world. Like they've got absolutely no business having a record that sounds this amazing. Like it's just rude, and every track on it is an instant smasher. Like I've gone through and I've dug out some bits and pieces and tracks that I love, but like basically all of them fucking rip. But I've got to shout out Autistic Kill Trance. Like that song is fucking awesome. It's got that like Darko US kind of like crazy, like relentless machine gun riffing, but that band of, I don't know, I just, there's something about that band that kind of put me on edge, but this is just all fucking incredible. Like they've got these laser gun riff parts in there, the thol, when that massive breakdown comes in, the thol is strong with this one, and it's got like really cool vocal hooks and not melodies, but like, like hooky rhythmical ideas that they throw in. Like that track is just beginning to end absolute slapper. Like it's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Like Slow Hell is a big fucking brilliant one. It starts like so Meshuggah, and then it sort of goes into their sort of like dreamscape signature sort of territory, and then just as you're sort of floating away like a balloon, they grab you by the ankles like Hulk and just fucking smash you into the ground and like take you away. It's absolutely sick.
Yeah,
brute
man.
fact, like fuck me in half. What a joyous battering that is.
Johnny Mnemonic has got a bit of the strains.
That's a Keanu movie, isn't it? I've never seen.
I think there's. I don't know what a mnemonic is because that's mnemonic, isn't Johnny Mnemonic, which is the Keanu movie, and it's spelt slightly differently. But that track has got like a bit of the strain going on. It's got even a bit, dare I say, a bit of the amures going on about it. Like it's really like just a sort of simple idea, just kind of wound up like a wind up toy until it just kind of fucking goes. Like it's absolutely incredible piece of songwriting. The Kryptonite Renegade, that riff has just been like permeated my brain for the last like 2 weeks. Dum da dum dum da dum dum well dum da dum dum da dum dum well dum da dum dum da dum dum da dum dum well. It's just been there constantly, just right there in my brain. Like I'll be like, what did I come into this room for? Dum 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 dum. No, it wasn't that. That's not what I came into this room for. That's basically the kind of level that I'm working with that track. It's so catchy, that riff. And then they also managed to recruit certified dreamboat Chad Kappa to come and do a spot on the last track as well. It's basically tech metal bingo. They've just got all of it, haven't they?
Yeah, man, it's fantastic, and like track names are all really cool. Like Bare Maximum,
Bare
is
Maximum
fantastic.
is wicked, isn't it? Yeah,
Bare Maximum is a fantastic,
really
fantastic track, and the thols in that do go, dude. They fucking they knock you out of the chair. Those fucking big ones, they're nice.
Yeah, man. Like this is just ridiculously, just so much a bit of me and you, isn't it? It's like they kind of. Someone's taken all of the dialogue from every podcast episode we've ever done, fed it into an AI, then asked that AI to write an album, and boom, there it is. Weston Super Maim. It's fucking insane. Absolutely mad.
This is like just fucking sick. I love it. I absolutely love it. This is so thick and so awesome. And I really need to go back and listen to the old stuff now.
Yeah, I think there's like
I'm an absolute fool for passing it over, I think.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant. Yeah, the band are called Weston Super Maim and the album is called See You Tomorrow, Baby. And I think you can actually stream it through Decibel a day early as well. Because obviously it's coming out Friday, but I think you can already go onto Decibel and stream it. So strongly recommend it. Give it some fucking time because it's awesome.
Using baby in stuff is great as well. That's points.
Yeah.
You get points for that.
I like it because it makes me think of You've Come a Long Way, Baby, you know, like Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
Although that album isn't called that, but that's what the guy's t-shirt says, isn't it? I can't even remember. What is that album called? It's called... No, it is called You've Come a Long Way, Baby. And the guy's t-shirt says, I'm number one, so why try harder? That's it.
That is it.
I fucked that right up. You didn't expect that we'd be talking about Fatboy Slim on the Heavyist podcast, did you? But, you know, we're diverse and interesting individuals, multi-layered.
Multi-layered,
multifaceted.
You know.
That's what you're dealing with right now.
Sometimes we'll wake up like I was listening to Samantha Mumba the other day. No big deal.
Big ups.
Know, that's just what happens.
Samantha Mumba. Wow, that's a fucking deep cut, isn't it? That is
we were driving around in the car, and I asked Jolene to pick something, and that's what we went with. And I tell you what, mate, there's a couple of deep cut bangers in there. You don't want to get me and Gary started on fucking Girls Aloud. You do not want to get us started on that.
Careful. This will become a Girls Aloud podcast if you don't watch out. Oh, love me.
Pound for pound might be better than Destiny's Child. It's all we are saying. We'll say it once. We'll leave you with it.
I don't think there's a debate. Girls Aloud have got more bangers than Destiny's Child. This happened. I've said it out loud.
We got drunk and talked about that once for ages. It was pretty good.
Good times. Good times.
I'm just saying.
Pound for pound. Throwing it out there. Just putting it out into the world. Highlighting how multifaceted we are. The next record we're going to talk about is quite a bit different. The band are called Gouge Away. They're a 5-piece alt-rock hardcore band from Florida. A new album's called Deep Sage. And it comes out on Friday the 15th of February through Death Wish. So Gouge Away's last record, Burnt Sugar, which it came out in 2018, and it was quite a big shift. So they previously with what's it called? Gouge Away Dies. They were like a sort of power violence band almost. They were very hard, very fast, sort of short, minute-ish long songs, you know, had this really strong like animal rights message that they were going through, and they were fucking sick. And then they came out with Burnt Sugar, and they moved into this more sort of grungy, punky kind of alt rock territory. And I think it landed really fucking hard. Like a lot of people, me included, really, really rated what they were doing and thought that it was fucking cool. And I think it made a big impact for them. And then they just kind of went a bit quiet, to be honest. Like, there was a sort of a period where nothing was really happening with Gouge Away. I don't know if people thought maybe they'd split up, or I think people were just kind of like, I wonder where they are. And then they played like a random surprise gig, like about 6 months, maybe a year ago. Like, I think they just sort of turned up and played a set at a show, and everyone's like, oh my God, like, I think Gouge Away might be back in the world. And now they were here with their new album. And I'll tell you what, mate, I think this album is absolutely fucking brilliant. Like, they've kind of pushed even further into that alt rock territory, but then they've also added this like really lovely extra layer of weird on the top of it, which is really, really doing it for me.
Yeah, mate, I'm in. Another record that sounds like it could be a different color, like it could be a paint color, like
Oh yeah,
burnt sugar, deep
Deep
sage.
Sage. Yeah,
Maybe
they're
it's.
pretentious colours to paint your bathroom, aren't they? Yeah,
I like it. Yeah,
yeah. Their
maybe.
next record coming out 2025, Summer Breeze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pondering mauve. Like that'd be a nice one from them. um,
Absolutely.
this record is so much fun. This is just so like it feels like the opening. It feels like the cool opening moments of like a 90s movie, but just like
Yeah.
extrapolated, right? It feels so familiar and brilliant, and like the melodies are lovely. This is great. This direction is absolutely sick. I didn't listen to Burnt Sugar for like ages,
Really.
and jammed it recently, and had such a fucking good time with it,
Yeah.
man. Like I definitely missed that whole transition into like this sort of style for them. So it was really, really cool, man. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I really like, there's been some, bands that have gone from sort of power violency stuff into just doing their own brilliant thing, like Funeral Chic. That was a
Yes. Yeah.
brilliant
Yeah.
record, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
moved into
Definitely.
this sort of like rockier territory, and like what these guys are doing here, like really harnessing this sort of like alt rock and grunge, and like I really like how like buckets of this record feel like Incubus. Do you get that?
Yeah. You know what? Like one of the things that I wrote down in my notes, like it wasn't Incubus, but I wrote down the Foo Fighters like 2 or 3 times when I was going through and making notes. And like the Foo Fighters are a band that I'm just not got no time for, but you can't deny like they've got an incredible skill at hook. There's a reason they're one of the biggest bands in like rock. Like they've got an incredible skill for hooks. They've always got that driving momentum of drums, and those just goes like sort of little kind of throwaway guitar licks that become like the thing almost that you remember the most about what's going on in the song. And there's so many of those little moments, like, I can't think what the song is on this record. I think it's like track 2. Hang on a second, it's called Maybe Blue, isn't it, when it goes do 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 do. It's so catchy, like, and stuff like that just on this record just really lodges into your fucking brain. Like on Burnt Sugar, like they kind of started pushing into a bit more of an almost like a punk and roll kind of world, sort of. But then on this one, I feel like they're pushing into this kind of grungy thing. They're also pushing into like a sort of repetitive kind of noise rock vibe as well in certain places.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of tracks that have that. You've got the Stuck in a Dream,
Stuck
where
in
it's
a
basically
Dream, for
just that
sure.
over and over
Yeah.
and over again. Really cool, sort of like drilling, repetitive noise rock. And
Yeah,
then
man.
Underwater, like, Overwatering.
Overwatered, yeah.
Like, I took the sweetness from the inside. That was so good, dude.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just repetitive and brilliant. I'm just like in the shops singing it, and I don't even know what it means, but just gets you, just gets you going.
I got absolutely no clue, but or even like I need space, I need space, I need space. Like those like repetitive motifs that they've got in there. Like
it does
really
sound
cool.
like they were saying, "I just want to pee. Yeah, I just need to pee." I don't know. It definitely isn't that. It's B, but if you listen to it enough, it does sound like she definitely needs the toilet.
It is one of them things, though, isn't it? Where like when you say a word over and over and over again, and it just kind of feels like it loses its meaning and stops actually sounding like anything. And I think that's kind of like, especially in like Stuck in a Dream, I think that's kind of the idea. It's like this hypnotic, like repetitive cycle, which you are stuck. And she's like, and I just want to wake up. Like it's like I just need to snap out of this like this horrible cycle. But the song makes you feel like you're in that cycle too. Like it's really, really effective. And it works really well. And like one of the things about this album that is like one of the really big standout things is like Christina finding her range and how like she's got a really cool like yelpy scream. It's so distinct. Like if I had my headphones on the table and you walked into the room and you could hear the sound coming from my headphones, you go, you're listening to Gouge Away, aren't you?
You go, that's Gouge
You
Away.
could recognize it straight away. Like it just hits a really specific part of your like your hearing field, and you're like, oh shit, that's Gouge Away. Like you get it. But then she's found this melodic side, this sort of really sweet, angelic melodic vocal that she can do. But then also you look at like the song Spaced Out, where she gets fucking like gnarly on it. She gets really like angry and like puts a lot more sort of heat and passion, maybe like the old days when they were like a fucking power violence band. Like some of that stuff kind of starts coming out as well. Like it's such a really detailed, nuanced, and well kind of balanced performance on the vocals from Christina, which I think is really fucking cool. It's
yeah, she like meanders like expertly between sort of like soft and then like razor sharp vocals. It's a fucking fantastic performance. Like I love the way, I think this is all live recorded as well.
Yeah, it
which
feels like it for sure.
It does the record fucking wonders. It just sounds like the sort of like the proximity that you get from listening to it is like unreal. Like there's such an authenticity there. It's like this record sounds like the best fucking Audio Tree set I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that's just such a good thing. That's so cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like it does have that vitality and that like energy that where you kind of feed off of each other, which can be sapped away in the studio. And you know, some bands obviously need that cleanliness, but I think that Gouge Away benefit from the lack of it, from having that really sort of separated, really clean, produced. Like I think it really benefits them to have that energy of the room over having the really sort of clinically clean recorded and production. Like this it sounds perfect for what it is, doesn't it? It's like it's so perfectly encapsulates what this band are all about right at this very minute. And I really love that. And I just think this album's absolutely spectacular. Like I really like the fact that, you know, obviously they come from this, you know, animal rights and sort of social justice and that kind of vibe, which is cool. But I really like this. Feels much more like introspective and kind of insular, and you feel like you're getting to know Christina and you're getting to know the band as people through listening to the record, from the sort of the messages like Maybe Blue, where this is sort of like malaise across everything. Then, you know, like you were saying about overwatering, and it's just that, you know, that effect that it all has on you. And even like the sharpening, which is another one where she gets really fucking angry. But then towards the end, you kind of go into like Newtown and Dallas, where it kind of tails the album off really nicely, the way that it kind of simmers itself down towards the end. I think it's really like the whole record, the arc of the record is perfect. Like the way that it jumps out at you really crazy, and then it just kind of hits a little bit of a lower point, and then it comes back up again, but then it sort of scoops away. Like it's so, the layout of the album is immaculate, and I'm really like in love with this record. I think it's absolutely fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like where the album goes at the end. It kind of like almost like Dallas almost like goes into like a Camp Cope song or something at the end.
Yes, I actually wrote that down. Camp Cope was one of the things I wrote in my notes, because I know you're big into that band, and it does have a bit of that sort of slacker indie kind of vibe to it, and it works really well. And it's something that they're absolutely fantastic at, which, you know, it's kind of new territory for Gouge Away to go into that sort of thing, but it works perfectly for them. Yeah,
it's just like another thing with her sort of finding a voice like vocally. Like this, she's sort of can craft these really sort of like powerful like melodies where it's so projected so brilliantly. That's what like is so good about the Camp Cope vocalist, or was so. I think they broke up now.
I think they've split up. Yeah,
they were doing like last stuff recently. But anyway, it's similar like styling where it's just very sort of like powerful voice. It's very well projected, and it creates just something so fucking brilliant, so sort of authentic and real. And I love this. It feels like 90s movies. It feels like the summer. It feels like a great record to put on a Saturday morning in August. Maybe when you're getting the barbecue out, maybe this could be Ponce on the board for barbecue album of the year. We'll
marinating some chicken breasts or something, getting ready for everyone to come over in the afternoon for a barbecue.
Making up the kebabs, putting a bit of onion, and then putting a bit of beef, and then putting a bit of pepper, then putting a bit of mushroom, and then putting a bit of beef again.
Absolutely. You might want to think about them hand gestures you're doing, but yeah, absolutely, I completely agree. you put a bit of meat on it, but absolutely, man. Like I just think this album hits so many different moods, and like if you come to it and you're like you're in a sad mood, then you can put on, you know, maybe blue, or you're angry, you could put on like the sharpening. And like, it's so cool. It's so well rounded. It's a really fucking wicked record. I like to think that it's gonna really like do bits for them. Like, we're in a kind of post-turnstile world, and I think that this record in that post-turnstile world is really gonna, like, people are gonna properly like latch onto Gouge Away, and they're gonna kind of transcend being this quite cult underground band to being something that's much more like established in the scene. Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's very fucking good. It's called Deep Sage. It's by the band Gouge Away. Give it a fucking listen.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We're deep in the zone. Should talk about a third record. We're fucking in it. We're flying high. Let's talk about BRAT, man. BRAT,
yes.
They are a 4-piece grindcore band from New Orleans, Louisiana. This is their debut album. It's called Social Grace, and it's released on the 15th of March through Prosthetic Records. So yeah, BRAT, you might have come across BRAT, even if you haven't heard of them. They're this self-professed Bimbo-Violence band. Their singer, Liz, she's got a very distinct look for hardcore. She's about 7 foot tall, and she's got really, really long, really, really blonde hair. And like, I kind of love this aesthetic and this vibe of this band. I find it really refreshing. Like, I read a few interviews with Liz online, and they're like the whole thing of trying to bring femininity and, for lack of a better term, girliness back into heavy music. Not back into it was never in there, which is kind of the problem. Trying to bring it into heavy music, and you know, obviously, we all know that there's quite a lot of sort of toxic male energy that can kind of circulate around heavy music. And obviously, as a man, it is hard for me to comment too much on the female experience in heavy music, but it does feel that sometimes people are only prepared to embrace women in hardcore if they kind of come to us on our terms, which is just not right. Like, there's a lot of this, you know, the kind of whole Reddit, I'm not like other girls mentality that you see coming around. And it's a shame. And like, reading these interviews, Liz has kind of turned around and be like, nah, fuck that. I've got bright blonde hair. I like playing Cascada songs between our songs live. And when we release merch, we release booty shorts and t-shirts with Britney Spears on them. Like, fuck it. And I fucking love that.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely love that. She's like, nah, fuck it. I'm a girly girl and I'm cool with that. And you just got to either accept it or get the fuck out of here. And I think that's absolutely awesome. Also, complete aside, as part of the interview, they said that the origin story of the band, I thought was really funny. They did karaoke, and she sung a Day to Remember song. And the guy who, before they were a band, the guitarist was like, shit, you're pretty good at that. Like, let's start a band. And then they formed BRAT. I thought that was absolutely wicked. Just
that's
from
fantastic.
Like doing a like drunk karaoke night or whatever. Maybe we're not drunk and I don't know, but just doing a karaoke night. I'm like, hang on a second. Wow, you're actually pretty fucking good. Like, I
probably started with the old.
And my band did that first, sing the beat down. Just want to say. Anyway, this record is
so much fun,
wicked, isn't it? It's absolutely wicked. Like, their mentality just has got me in the pocket for this band before I even hear a second of what they're doing. And then you hear it, and I'm like, oh man! And it also fucking rules. Like, it's so vibrant. It's so much fun. You just feel how much they enjoy making this music. It's infectious.
Yeah, this album is a tight little fucking ripper. It is buckets of grind, buckets of thrashy groove, loads of death metal, and like sort of 2-minute songs all over the fucking shop. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's fucking sick. It's a quick little record. You can listen to it 3 times before you or even think about listening to anything else. It's hard as hell. There's so many grooves and riffs. The mosh opportunities per minute are off the fucking charts. It's
moshes per minute.
It's just doing so much fun, man. It's just having so much fun. Like, they're really like having their cake and eating it by by sort of having this really like fun image, but then also playing the hardest fucking jams. This is a banger. This is a fucking banger.
Yeah, mate. This is proper fucking good. Like you say, it's like the grindification of this kind of like modern moshy death sound that we've just been like lapping up like hungry little boys. And then
good, dude.
We've just been absolutely guzzling it down. And then they throw this like extra layer of like grindcore on the top. It's not like you get a lot of people who get hung up on like purist grindcore, and they're like, oh, it's not proper grindcore because you didn't do D beats for the entire song, and the song's more than 45 seconds long. Like, nah, fuck all that bollocks. False grind, yeah, all of that shit, and like white belt and all that bollocks. Like, no, don't need to separate it. Grind is fun. Let people have fun, but let people have fun in beatdowns too, because beatdowns are fucking cool. And I just love the way that they like throw in these really sick, big, groovy riffs. They do these like really cool, like proper like death metal tremolo, like fast
dude,
stuff.
The opening riff on Rope Drag, that is that is a fucking party. That is such a party. It's like a death metal party jam, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, mate. Or even like literally Ego Death, like the beginning of that one has got that same sort of vibe, and then it switches into that like that sort of like that kind of like lethargic breakdown, which is really fun, and then you just hear that like backing vocals like it's really sort of really kind of strained and a bit distant, and it works really fucking well. All of that kind of stuff is just really, really fucking fun. Like when they slap a big sick two-step in like truncheon, it's just fucking like they're writing these songs for the live environment, like first and foremost, which is fucking really cool. Like it's funny, I saw a tweet earlier on, maybe it was yesterday. Ross from God Eater wrote a tweet about how he's like sick of bands who are just like, right, let's make content for the internet. He's like, no, fucking write some songs, you useless pricks. And it's like it feels like BRAT have gone about things the right way, you know, like they've, you know, obviously they've got, you know, they've really thought about their image and their vibe, and they've cultivated that really well. But it doesn't feel like that was what they come up with first, and then they were like, and then we can come up with some music later. Like it really feels like they were like, let's make some absolutely sick, grindy hardcore bangers that people are going to go fucking nuts to in the pit. And then let's also just really be ourselves. Let's not try and be like black t-shirt wearing hard nuts. Let's just have some fun and keep it loose. And I absolutely love that, and there's not enough of that goes on in hardcore. It's a real shame as a genre where everyone takes themselves way too seriously generally, and it's kind of it can suck the fun out of it sometimes, and it is inherently quite daft if you think about what hardcore is and what we're into. In the grand scheme of the real world, it is a bit daft, and it's okay to lean into that. Like you don't have to worry. It's all right to accept, like, you know, like people who are, I don't know, really obsessed with, I can't think of a good example, but you know, some people just get like really obsessive over
like a lot of black metal. Like
exactly. You just get really obsessive over something really, really weird, and then get upset when someone actually finds it
has a nice bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't need it. Like just listen to BRAT, have a fucking good laugh. Like it's cool. We're all friends, and it's like it's kind of, you can feel like they want to bring back like the community spirit and just enjoyment, and it's like it's just so infectious when you listen to this record. It just all kind of oozes out.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great little record. It's got, you know, it's over and done with in like 20 minutes, isn't it? It's a fucking just an absolute tornado. It just tears through your house, fucks your shit up, delivers some riffs. I love her vocal performance is brilliant. It's so wicked, super consistent. It's really sort of like bestial and feral and hard as fuck. It's just like, and it doesn't really wander too much. She just sort of does the absolute, just a beast in fucking delivery on everything. And it's, you know, and it's cool. It's like, it's just incredibly hard. It's you can't fault this record, man.
No, well, her vocal doesn't sound anything like you would expect it to, but I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? Right? I think that's kind of
it's fantastic.
The whole point of it is like, it's wicked. I just think this album's fucking great. I think everyone needs to check this record out and get really drawn into BRAT, because they're party people. You need to get stuck into it. Absolutely fucking brilliant.
Hell yeah.
Get it fucking Social down, Grace. Yeah, man. Social Grace by BRAT. Fucking check it out. And then, we are fucking on it big style, man. These albums do not stop getting sicker and sicker.
Let's go to prison.
Mate, let's go to prison. Prisoner are a 5-piece industrial metal band it gets so hard to come up with like genre tags for bands when they do so many different things. But they come from Richmond, Virginia. This is their second full length. It's called Putrid, Obsolete. And it is also released on Friday the 15th of March through Persistent Vision Records. Now, I'm not going to go on record like I tend to do sometimes and claim that I don't like a genre and then have to eat humble pie in about 6 months, like I did with black metal, like I did with old school death metal, and like I've had to do with Death Doom. God, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I need to just shut me down.
It's all about learning, Gary. We're just discovering.
We're
not like professing to know actually anything.
Absolutely not.
We're discovering things week to week.
Well, this is what
so,
I've got.
You can be forgiven for your past sins.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's
what
I mean.
This is a congregation, Gary.
Industrial. I've never listened. Have you ever listened to Godflesh? I've never listened to Godflesh in my entire life. I don't think I've ever listened to a second of a Godflesh song. Like, I like Nine Inch Nails, but kind of casually. Like, industrial as a thing isn't something I've ever got involved in. But when one of our favourite press people in the world, Curran from The Chain, sends us something over and he's like, you guys need to check this out. I think you're going to fucking love it. I respect and I trust him enough to check it out because, he knows what he's talking about it when it comes to this sort of thing. And he was fucking right, mate, because this record's fucking sick as hell. Like,
this is banging.
It's absolutely fucking awesome.
This is definitely the T1000's favourite fucking death metal record.
I have written exactly the same sentence on my notes, Sonny. That is terrifying. That's actually terrifying. Terminator's favourite band is, I have written that down.
That's hilarious.
I'm a bit freaked out by that, actually.
Well, Gary, we're just synced up.
That's why we're best friends,
we're just
man,
vibing,
because
brother.
we just think
vibing.
the same way.
We're just in it, mate. This is so much fun. It really does go on a journey as well. This thing evolves and just it's like a slow transformer. Maybe it's a fast transformer that just takes ages to transform, It's like, imagine if the Transformer movie was not like 40 minutes of that.
It's not like a Michael Bay one where it just kind of goes and it's done. Like
This is fucking brilliant. So it comes out with this sort of like death metal vibe with sort of industrial textures over the top of it, these repugnant rhythms. Sort of first thing that comes to my mind is things like Fang, what we've enjoyed recently, sort of sludge that's so sort of industrialized and really fucking cool. And then there's like a really crusty track, which I was thinking maybe we could call him Cybercrust.
Cybercrust.
Cybercrust might be a good tag for these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I really like that actually as a turn of phrase. It works very fucking well because I say industrial, but really they kind of use industrial textures as a way to like sort of overblow the way everything sounds rather than like, they're kind of bass, drums, guitar, and vocals primarily, and then the industrial stuff is just kind of used to make everything sound a bit more like bigger and like dirtier, isn't it?
Yeah, especially on like the sort of the first half of the record, it feels like a grindcore band like got hold of a laptop or something. Like it's not necessarily like written with that at the forefront, and all it does is add this really gruesome texture. Like sometimes it sounds like you're being jumped by robots underwater, and it's very fucking cool. Yeah, and then you get to like Shroud, where it's more sort of sludged up, proper like you probably get like waterboarded or sludge boarded, and these textures they sort of they fill you up and they sort of drip into every pore, they stifle your breath. And then there's also like sort of black metal inflections in there where it sort of opens up. I can't recommend. I think when you listen to this record for the first time, you have to listen to it with a pair of headphones because it will really do the record justice. Absolutely. It sounds way different. I listened to it in the car the first time and it was wicked, but on the second listen, when I was just in my headphones at home, it fucking comes alive. It's really cool. Like you've got these sort of like, well, the album. So it starts off, and then it goes into this crusty place, then it goes into this sludgy place, and then sort of when you get to like Leaden Tomb and Pathogenesis, it sort of has this sludge sound, but it's sort of slowed down, and it sort of really starts to sort of unravel or blossom, which blossom is is far too much of a natural term for what this does. I mean, maybe transform, but
too pretty,
transforming
in
the way that an Autobot would. It goes into sort of like techno.
These guys are straight Decepticon.
Oh, they are probably. It goes into sort of these techno sludge moments and sort of takes it into like a post-metal realm where it's all sort of technicolor and whirling. It's so beautifully populated with like these layers that will sort of grind you and jab you. It's really cool. Like when this thing sort of starts to turn, like it's such an interesting record, man.
I tried to coin a new genre term as well, but yours is much better, so I might not even use it. But it's like it's not extreme, it's extra-treme, because it's extra extreme. It's just like they just take it and they just take it. It's terrible. I'm sorry, I take it back. I never said that. Edit that out, please. They're just like they just take everything and make it sound even more harsh and distorted than you even kind of thought was possible, and it works so fucking well. Like, everybody's tone is incredible on this record. Like, every guitar, I love how, like, if you look on, it says that 3 of the 5 of them do vocals, and there's this like really chaotic like vocal
and like
layering.
3 of them do samples as well.
Yeah,
it's all of them.
They've all got keyboards. They've all got microphones. Like, they must be a sound man's nightmare when they turn up and play. But like the way that there's this vocal layering and the kind of chaotic way that the different vocalists kind of jump into each other, it just all piles up and it creates this absolute cacophony of fantasticness. Like, it's so exciting. Like, you were talking about the track Shroud. Like, I think that song's absolutely fucking wonderful. Like,
it's gorgeous,
the kind of the back half of it where it gets really big and expansive, and the whole vibe of the album has a bit of a turnaround, and it gets sort of really kind of transcendent and triumphant, but it is also still at the whole time battering your fucking skull in too. Like, it's really fucking exciting. And yeah, and then they just sort of pepper in all of this extra stuff and the vibes, and there's this sort of dissonant black metal kind of sound that comes in, and then there's times when they just sort of sound like a really like badass black and hardcore band. Like, there's kind of sad, like the last track Nanodeath has this kind of sad lamentful kind of vibe to it, whilst also being really hard and aggressive at the same time.
It, like, the back end of the album moves from like almost sort of like black and death, and then they go into like almost like post black metal on the last track. It sort of has that energy.
It's really cool, isn't it?
It's so cool, man. It really does shift. It's a crazy record. From where it starts to where it finishes is great. It's such a journey. Yeah,
when you said it up top, you said this record's like a real journey, and it really does. And it almost has like movements. It has like passages that kind of like, maybe they're a song and a half or like a song and 3/4 where they have a vibe and then they switch it, and then it keeps it, the way that it kind of ebbs and flows is really cool. Like, I can't believe I've never come across this band before. I feel really silly, but at least we know cool people like Curran who can point us in that direction. Like, you fuckers need to check this out. And like, I think this is kind of for fans of, I guess, like Cult Leader and like that kind of Yashira, like Yautja kind of sludge hardcore kind of world, but it touches on so much more than just that. Like, it's a very, very fucking cool, dynamic, interesting, but also heavy as balls record. Like, this is fucking sick.
It's very, very, very fucking thick. It's a great time. I can't recommend it enough. That's a big old Friday coming up, Gary. That's a goddamn lot of good fucking records.
It was absolutely worth breaking our internal rule of 3 records an episode to talk about this Prisoner album, man. Yeah, Putrid Obsolete by Prisoner. Give it a go. Yeah,
hard record, hard name as well. Putrid Obsolete.
Hard. Like, it's got the same like layout as like perpetual terminal when we were talking about Darkest Hour, but it's just like the most sort of neggy version of that. It's just like, no, we're all fucked. Putrid, Obsolete. Like, it's cool. It's fucking cool. Yeah, man. This is a very, very sick piece of work. Check it out.
Yeah. Bangs.
I mean, we've talked about 4 albums, but are you as much of a madman as me? Do you have any other AOR you want to discuss?
This week, I'm pretty stuck on crippling alcoholism, to be fucking honest.
Yeah,
but
I have been too.
But you uncovered a phenomenal EP this Friday, just gone on the old New Music Friday. And
yes.
This is probably a good point to plug the old Discord.
I was going to do that. Yeah,
the Discord is a great place to fucking discover new music and share new music. There's constant bangers flying around. Not much gets past us, mate, in there. The Heavyist do very good work. Every Friday there's fucking releases going all over the shop. It's great if you're interested in what we're talking about on the podcast and you just love listening to sick fucking awesome new fucking riffs. Come on down, it's great. Just come down to the old Discord.
Come and hang out.
You don't even talk about that. Half the time we're talking about films and games and that as well.
Talking about all manner of shit. It's great.
Man. Just talk about lovely, brilliant stuff.
It's just a cool place to hang out on the internet. You know, it's just everyone's really nice and friendly and fun. But what he's talking about is a band from Ohio, Walking Wounded, and their EP Bestial Condemnation. They actually refer to themselves as death metalcore, which I think more bands need to have the balls to admit that that's what they sound like. Like it's fucking sick. And this EP just absolutely fucking bangs. Like it's just incredible. It's like this band just want to riff in the face of everybody. It's like confrontational. It's aggressive. It's pissed off. They're coming for you. And that energy is just fucking palpable in this EP. It's so exciting. Like, beyond telling you it's hard as fuck, there's not really a great deal of additional kind of color that I can add to it. It's just hard as fuck. Like, that's kind of what it is. It's absolutely magnificent. There's a track, Unholy Bargain, which features Blythe from No Cure. And when he comes in, he just screams, "Die, motherfucker." It's absolutely fucking brilliant. It's so good. Like, this is, like you were saying, I've posted this up into the Discord, and then we do a thing on a Monday, Moshcore Monday, where everyone posts their like weekly listening charts. And it was basically cropping up on everybody's weekly listening charts, really high up. And I was just like, yes, this is it. This is the community spirit. If someone comes out, they say, guys, you need to fucking listen to this. Everyone listens to it and everyone falls in love with it. It was kind of a similar, like, it's how we all end up in love with Underneath, right? It was the same sort of like, It was that same sort of groundswell in amongst the group. And this is just fucking awesome. And it's also got absolutely sick artwork. Like, it's a sort of shadowy skeleton man riding a ghost horse to war, all kind of painted in watercolor. Looks cool as shit. And yeah, man, I've also seen it kind of spreading kind of around Twitter quite a lot in the last week as well. People kind of going, "Oh, hello, and does anyone listen to this Walking Wounded EP?" And I was like, "Yeah, I fucking have. It's fucking sick, isn't it?" Yeah, it's awesome, and it's really worth your time. If you've still got a bit of brain capacity left after you've listened to the 4 records we've recommended, then I would really strongly say check out this EP too, man. Absolutely sick.
Hell yeah. Fucking awesome, Gary. What fucking a banger. So many fucking sick records. Fucking Weston Super Maim, BRAT, Gouge Away, Prisoner. Hard albums. What a glorious time to worship the riff.
Oh, it's beautiful. You know what happens next week, don't you?
Next week is Big Mastiff week.
Mastiff, the precipice. Whoop, whoop. That's how you say it. Everyone seems to be giving him a hard time about the name of it on the internet, and I think that's unfair.
Really?
I think it's cool. You just keep seeing everyone posting about, I don't know how to say it or how to pronounce this name. The precipice. It's not that complicated. Well, I have, and fuck you.
Oh, you're going to give Jim a complex now.
Jim, I love it, mate. Take absolutely no notice of anybody. It's cool as shit. It's
fantastic. It's Skogan level wordplay. It's the bollocks.
It is.
It's a great
absolutely
fucking
fantastic. And we will talk about the record. And then I think we're having a chat with Jimbo. Is he going to pop on and say hello?
We're going to be chatting with potential potentially more than one mastiff. There might be multiple
Ooh.
mastiffs in the zone.
Ooh,
But yeah,
that'd be
it's going to be a
interesting.
great week. There's some cool shit coming out next week as well as that. Yeah, it's a great time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for potentially watching as well if you've looked at us. I hope I didn't do any
Little
bogey
look
stuff.
at the camera. Wink. That's the thumbnail.
Right. We love you lots. See you next week. Bye bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.